Theresa May survives the cabinet meeting and puts a proposal to the House of Commons. Every vote's going to count, none more so than the votes of the Scottish National Party. Are you minded to help the Prime Minister out on this one, Ian Blackford?
I think we've been pretty clear ever since Brexit, way back in June 2016, that we want to stay in the single market and the customs union. And I would simply say to the Prime Minister, it is the only proposition that has a majority in the House of Commons. And the reason this is important is because all the economic analysis, whether it's from the UK government, Scottish government or anyone else, shows that if we're out with the single market and the customs union, it's going to cost jobs.
Yeah, but you see in the transition period, as I understand this withdrawal deal, we would be staying in the customs union.
Well, we won't be any customs union over the transition.
Yeah.
But the point though, what we're faced with here is a blind Brexit. We don't know what the ultimate destination will be. That's why this is important. Parliament has the opportunity to seize the initiative, and one of the things I'm saying to the Prime Minister is we need to have amendments ahead of the government's resolution. Parliament has got to take the opportunity to protect the interests of all our constituents, and not just staying in the customs union in the short term, but making sure we can protect that for the longer term. That's what I'm seeking to do.
I mean, I should have mentioned, of course, you're going to get some questions at Prime Minister's Questions, which is kind of the appetizer to the Cabinet meeting today. But on that point, is it really realistic? Because one of the problems that everyone in the UK, including Scotland, has had is it's almost as if it's a debate amongst ourselves, whereas, of course, this is a negotiation with 27 members of the European Union. This is the deal. I mean, there's not much point in Parliament amending it, is there?
No,
because the EU won't respond.
Yes, it will. I mean, I've been to see Michel Barnier and I've had that discussion. If Parliament sends a message to the government, will Michel Barnier, will the European Union listen to that? Of course they will. If we were to go back and say, look, it's in our best interest to stay in the single market and the customs union, that can happen, and it would happen under those circumstances.
But it isn't the time to negotiate that after the 29th of March next year, once we're out.
No, because that's the whole point. Once we're out of the European Union, it becomes much more difficult. It's much easier where we're still in the European Union. We've wasted the last 2.5 years. There's been a failure of leadership from this government. We should have been in a situation that we weren't just negotiating the withdrawal, but we knew what the destination's going to be as well. It's the height of irresponsibility from this government that they haven't brought forward a plan that protects our long-term economic interests.
And if the consequence of voting down a deal, assuming that it's agreed by Cabinet, were to be a hard Brexit next March, could you live with that?
No, that need not happen, and that's one of the reasons why
it might happen then,
what we've said is, on that scenario, there needs to be a people's vote. It has to go back to all the nation states of the United Kingdom, all the nations of the United Kingdom, and people need to have that vote as to whether they wish to accept the deal that the Prime Minister's brought forward or whether we wish to stay in the European Union. We need to make sure that we protect the economic interests of the people of Scotland and the rest of the United Kingdom.
But you can't force that, though, can you?
Well, we can do, because one of the reasons that I've sent the letter to the Prime Minister, together with Jeremy Corbyn, Vince Cable and Liz Saville-Roberts, is we're demanding that democracy in Parliament takes place. We need to have the ability to lay amendments. Let's have that debate. It's right that we do so. We need to protect the interests of all our constituents. Let's make sure that we have a proper debate on the amendments and all the options that we have in front of us.
Ian Blackford, thank you very much indeed for joining us. And we'll